Hi everyone, how's it going? My name is Sam and this is Told by Sam. Today's video is 6 things to consider when booking our hostel. Now I've stayed in probably over 50 hostels in my time backpacking. 99.9% of them have been great and suited all my needs, and I've met some amazing people through them. I'm just going to run through a few things that I think you should check out before you click book on the hostel. So here we go. Number 1, location. So when you go to a city or tourist town, you are going to want to be in the centre or near the tourist attractions, because that's where it's all going on, and you don't want to be spending too much time travelling in, and it also might be expensive as well. So yeah, look at the location of the hostel before you book it. If the hostels in the centre are really expensive, look at ones that are on the outskirts that are close to transport links. So it might not be a problem if a hostel is in the outskirts of the city, but you're able to get a direct train into the centre in 10 minutes. So that'll be fine. Number 2, size of the dorm room. So you're on Hostel World and you see a dirt cheap hostel and you're like, how is it so cheap? Well, if you go in and look at the size of the dorm bed, I made that mistake in Bangkok. I saw a really cheap hostel and I clicked book on a 22 bed dorm. Now that 22 bed dorm was probably the worst night's sleep ever. Well, I didn't get any sleep because I was sharing with 21 other people who liked to turn the lights on in the middle of the night, who liked to make noise, who liked to have sex. Yeah, never again. So check out the size of the dorm, because for me 12 bed is the max, and I would not want to stay in anything above a 12 bed anymore. So make sure you check out the size of the dorm before you book a hostel. Number 3, look at the reviews. So you might see a hostel that's got a 5-star review and you think, ah, perfect, I'll book that. But how many people have actually reviewed it? Because it might be a small hostel that's had 2 people review it, and those 2 people are relatives of the hostel owners. So is that going to give a fair representation of the hostel? No. So look at the number of reviews, because that kind of gives an indication of how many people are going to be at the hostel. So, and also check out when the reviews were. So you might see one that's, again, 5-star, but the last review was from 5 years ago. Yeah, a lot changes in 5 years. I mean, in 5 years, the hostel manager could change, all the beds could be the same and not replaced. So yeah, just things like that. Like you need to look at a hostel which is up to date, recent reviews, which then gives an indication of what it's like now. Tip number 4, Quattro, is whether the hostel provides breakfast. So a lot of hostels provide breakfast, and it's not going to be like a full English breakfast or a raise of French patisserie items, but it does help because it will save you money and time, and it's something that is nice to have included. So a lot of the time hostels will offer like cereal or toast with juice and coffee, and that might save you $5. And when you consider that over 7 days, it adds up. So yeah, look at whether the hostel includes breakfast, and some might even include dinner as well. I remember staying at one in Australia that had a free dinner every night, and that was perfect because then I didn't have to worry about going and getting dinner, and the food was actually pretty good. Tip number 5. And you put 4 there. Well, tip number 5 is going to be Wi-Fi and whether it costs any money. So nowadays, like, what is the Wi-Fi password must be one of the #1 asked questions in the world, and we can't live without it, can we? We always want to be connected, and yeah, hostels have Wi-Fi. It's very rare to get a hostel that has nothing, so a lot of the time it will be free, but there are some hostels which will charge for the Wi-Fi, and if you're paying an extra bit of money each day, it might be cheaper to stay in a hostel which is on paper more expensive, but the price that you're going to pay for Wi-Fi each day at the cheaper hostel might add up to become more than the other hostel, if that makes sense. Yeah, maybe check out the reviews as to whether it's fast Wi-Fi, because sometimes you go somewhere and the Wi-Fi is shite. Like, it takes about 10 minutes to load one page. Not ideal. Tip number 6, last one, is whether the hostel provides excursions / activities. So for me, I really like to stay somewhere that has a lot going on, has tours and events. Like, you've got everything from free walking tours to beer pong to trips to the beach to barbecues. Like, I've experienced all those, and they really make a hostel, because for me, you don't really remember like your night's sleep. Sometimes you do. You remember a hostel more for who you met, what you did there, like how you socialised, and a really important factor for me when I look at booking a hostel is what's going on. So check out what activities and excursions they have, and you will have a fantastic time, I promise. There we have it. Those are my things to consider when booking a hostel. If you have any other things which you think should also be considered, drop a comment in the comment section below, and feel free to ask me any questions via Instagram, email about booking hostels, because as I said, I've got quite a bit of experience now staying in hostels, booking hostels, and would be more than happy to help. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to click subscribe, to like, and I will see you very soon.